And gentlemen, welcome to 12 News at 12. I'm Ben Dover.
And I'm Hugh Jass. Thanks for tuning in.
There was breaking news from yesterday. Nixon is back from China, and we were there on the scene as he got off the plane.
Are some of the photos our field reporter took as Nixon was getting off the plane. As you can see, he is shaking hands with many Chinese delegates that were there to visit Nixon as soon as he got off his plane. On Monday, February 21st, 1972, President Richard M. Nixon arrived in Beijing, China, in the Spirit of 76, the presidential jet. He was greeted only by occupants of an unmarked vehicle and no crowd. Nixon was informed that he could be at his first meeting with Premier Zhou Enlai in just 3 hours. It was customary at the time to quickly get important figures to their meetings so that nothing could interfere with their diplomatic proceedings. President Nixon met with his hosts at the Great Hall of the People, where the talks would range from 40 minutes to 4 hours. During the meetings, they tried to establish goals for what the two nations would like to accomplish together. They established clear understandings on where they stood with regard to the territorial accusations of mainland China and their mutual awareness of the Soviet threat. Although the transcripts of the talks were highly classified at this time, they were released to the public in 1999. The meetings were regarded then and today as historical rapprochement between the U.S. and China. Step by step, the events led up to what Nixon called the week that changed the world. This is a transcript of Richard Nixon saying what happened and why he went to China. We do believe that by starting the long process of some sort of contact, I will say, obviously, it will not come to recognition on our part. Because it cannot, since we still recognize Taiwan and will continue to honor our treaty commitments. They know this will not come out. What may come out of it will be, however, some method of communication in the future, some contact in the future, and perhaps reducing the chance in the immediate future of a confrontation between the United States and the PRC in Asia, such as we had in Korea, and such as we had indirectly in Vietnam. And looking further in the future, when they become a superpower, a nuclear superpower, to be in position that at the time we will have such relations with them that we can discuss differences and not inevitably have a clash. Now also, no one can look at Asia and take 750 million Chinese out of it and say you can have any policy in the Pacific that will succeed in preventing war without having the Chinese a part of it. It's just as cold-blooded as that. Here's a clip we found of people sharing their thoughts of Nixon going to China back in the day.
What is President Nixon getting into? What is the United States of America getting into? And what are we journalists getting into? And then, what am I getting into with this?
I knew nothing about China. Nobody had any idea what it really looked like. It really was like going on the moon. What are we going to see? We had no idea what to expect.
Most of the guys on the reporters on the knew nothing about China. They knew nothing. Up until then, the idea was Mao Zedong ate babies for breakfast, so to speak. There had been this exaggerated caricature of the way the Chinese were, that the communist system had essentially dehumanized.
We knew the world was going to see this event, and it was going to be huge. Because we were opening a door to 1 billion people.
Well, it was very clear that upon arrival that we would have the President and Mrs. Nixon down that stairs, and that picture with Zhou Enlai would be an incredibly important picture. I mean, that was the establishing shot in virtually every newspaper the next morning.
And that is the end of tonight's broadcast. Cue Jazz tuning out. See you later, folks.
Thank you for tuning in to 12 News at 12. See you next time.